Hi there, everybody, and welcome to the Art of Procurement podcast. I'm Philip Ideson.
And I'm Kelly Barner.
And all through November, we're celebrating 5 years of the Art of Procurement podcast.
And to celebrate, we're answering some of the most frequently asked questions that we have received from listeners since the podcast began with a daily 5-minute show. Today's question is, tell me more about the people part, the change management, the transition into new ways of working. Oh yes, the people part. That's always the wrinkle, isn't it? Procurement can talk about transformation and evolution all we want, but if we don't get the people to join us, we're not going to get very far. We have a lot of different audiences that we're trying to reach. Internal stakeholders on sourcing projects, distributed buyers using P2P technology who will never actually meet us, finance, legal, IT, the C-suite, and that doesn't even touch upon all of the suppliers we have to communicate with. As procurement becomes increasingly strategic, we have to get better at communicating with and influencing people. It's one thing to mandate an office supplies provider or a rental car contract, but it's another to try and mandate an expanded attitude about spend management at large. Here's my advice for achieving more change and building consensus at the same time by forming stronger people connections. Step 1, like your work and believe in your plan. It sounds simple, but it's a lot harder than it might seem at first glance. So have you ever encountered someone who absolutely hates their job? I know this is a ridiculous question. Of course you have. Think of a restaurant, a store, or a coffee shop where the person at the counter hates their job. It makes for an awful experience, doesn't it? It affects customers, it affects coworkers, and let's face it, it affects the bottom line. Now think of someone in the same role that loves their job, or at least loves the people they come into contact with at work. Talk about a difference. Now, if you can't manage to project positivity and enthusiasm, please go work somewhere else in the company. You're making it harder for the rest of us in procurement that do enjoy and believe in the work that we do. If you can be enthusiastic and clear about the change that needs to happen, you'll be far more successful in connecting with others and winning them over to your point of view. Step 2, put in that little bit of extra effort. Now, I personally learned this one the hard way, not because I made the mistake of not going the extra mile, but because I put in my time in consulting. If you've been in consulting, you know exactly what I'm talking about. When you're a consultant, you are always traveling and you are always working, and your boss will accept nothing but the very best. Sometimes you deliver the very best and somehow or other it still falls a little bit short. The pressure is unbelievable. The only thing that compares to it is being an entrepreneur, which makes being a consultant look like being retired. But that's a topic for another question. When everything you've worked for is riding on each detail you deliver, you take the extra hour or minute or second to put on a touch of polish. That might mean signing your name to an email rather than just typing a message, or using full sentences. Please, 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 you full sentences. Or looking for one last possible solution to an open issue rather than just going back with a question or an open task. Once again, this extra effort, applied consistency, over time will completely alter how you're perceived by stakeholders, suppliers, and executives alike. You don't want to seem like a frazzled workaholic, but if you seem knowledgeable, dedicated, and hardworking, you'll be credited with having a level of authority that far exceeds your rank and job title. And that sort of authority builds both trust and disincentivizes resistance. Step 3, be in it together. If I had to guess why procurement so often faces pushback when we're trying to roll out change, I would say this. I think we have a you problem. If you've ever received coaching on how to have important or tough conversations, you will know about the all-important I statement. I feel, I think, I believe. Someone can say that they feel differently. They can ask you questions about why, but they can't necessarily debate that you're wrong because you're basing this on your own perception. Now, on the other hand, you statements are generally regarded as judgmental, separating, and they are absolutely open for debate because you're telling someone something about themselves that they may believe is incorrect. In the context of procurement, the true power is found in the we statement. You're not rolling out a plan for others to follow. You're implementing a program that everyone, procurement included, should benefit from. We need to get through this. We need to be open to feedback. We need to collect and incorporate new ideas. If they think you're exempt from or unaffected by something that they see as inconvenient, of course they're going to see themselves on the other side of the issue. They've been put there by procurement's messaging and communication, and they are far more likely to resist. So people can be hard to deal with. Talk about a true statement, right? The most powerful investment procurement can make in improving our relationships is to want good working relationships. Make an active effort to like everyone you meet. Work hard for them and for you. Put in the extra effort. Care, please care, and show that you enjoy your job in a way that other people can see. Bringing everyone together on the same team or on the same side is both empowering and powerful, and those are relationships that will last you long into the future.
I want to thank you for listening to today's podcast. All the podcasts in this series can be found at artofprocurement.com/5 years. That's the number 5. That's artofprocurement.com/5 years.